Let's drive 3 golf questions.
Hey there, GolfCask Nation. It's Brian Bailie here, bringing you 3 questions, winter style. So the big question I got inside of Irons and Oak, as well as via GolfCask members, is how do I train in the off season, right? Especially in the Northern Hemisphere, we are amidst winter right now. December, for us here in the Mid-Atlantic, January, February is awful. Golf will start again in about March. So what can I do in the next 2 months indoors, or when I have small windows of opportunity to get outside to get my game better? I think the winter months are really designed for skill acquisition, not technical pieces, right? Now, if the skill that needs to be built needs technique to build it, of course we're going to do technical work. But overall, I think the winter months is more about skill acquisition. What are the skills necessary for me to achieve? I think there's 3 areas that you can hit indoors. A lot of times you don't even need a club or a ball, but there's some work you can do indoors to start getting your game better. We'll start with putting. Roughly 90% of all putts on the putting end end 6 feet and in. That's just kind of the way the game works, right? My ability to make putts 6 feet and in ends the hole. The better I am, the faster I get off the green, the less my putt total will be. So if you really think about it, in the off season, I would put a disproportionate amount of my time putting 6 feet and in. Simple, right? So what skills are necessary to be able to hit 6-foot putts? Well, 6-foot putt, if you have carpet space, you can find 6 foot inside your house. If not, you can go to Lowe's, go to Amazon and find a pretty short putting mat where you can actually do a lot of your work from. But the beauty of it is it doesn't take a lot of room. 6 feet is something achievable and you can do, like I said, very easily in your house. So what are the skills? Well, read won't really be a big one, right? Read would be being able to predict break. But if we're working indoors, our break should be relatively flat, I hope. So we're not going to really work on the skill of green reading, but what we can do is speed control, and we can also work on face control, which are 2 huge components. Even if you work it at 6 feet, understand what's happening and how it works, it'll kind of matriculate all the way through your game, or all through your putting, right? So once we even get outside of 6 feet, the ability to control the face and control distance really gives you 2/3 of the formula for making more putts. So what are we gonna do with speed control? So ideally we're gonna be on a putting carpet. There won't be a hole, which is great. We're gonna put a phantom cup, or we'll draw a hole, use a washer, like a garbage disposal washer, whatever that is, and we wanna roll the ball through the hole, averaging about 2 feet past, right? So at 6 feet, I want the ball to be 7.5 to 8 feet in total distance, 1.5 to 2 feet behind the hole. Same thing at 4 feet. I want it to be 1.5 feet, so I want a 5.5 to 6 footer. So I want the ball always traveling through the hole. Why is that important? One, the best players in the world leave 1 out of 100 putts short inside of 10 feet. So we can't be dying the ball into the hole. That's not a good putt. What we want to be able to do is to control speed, control delivery, so every time we're running the ball through the hole within a slight variance, we can control the speed very well. How do we do that? It's a length and time game, right? And I'll create some videos inside of GolfCask, inside of the YouTube version, as well as inside of our paywall version inside of golfcast.com that'll help you kind of build upon that. So be looking forward to that in the days to come. Also, working on face control. At 5 feet, your face could be 2 degrees open or closed, and the putts would actually be going in on the edges of the cup, right? You'd still be making putts. So ideally what we want is kind of 6 feet in, and we want everything hitting the center of the hole. About 1 inch left or right means our face is probably within 1 degree, which for most golfers, most amateurs, 1 degree of face control is all you can really ask for, right? Pros are going to get a little bit better than that, but again, our ability to control the face within 1 degree is really, really good. So you can definitely, like I said, as you're rolling it through the hole, start to notice how often do I hit the center, just off the center, and how many times is it just running kind of on the edges. If I'm starting to hit the edges or outside of the edges, my face is getting, there's too much variance in the face, so I'm missing left and right too much. So I've got to learn to control that better. Now we go into technical work and start to understand where that's coming from, rotations. Is it setup? Is it rotational pieces inside of your body? But again, we can only start to assess that if we actually start to see what's happening. So like I said, inside of 6 feet, working on speed control, working on face control is huge. If you did that for the next 3 months, you'd be amazed when you went out in the springtime how much better your 6 foot in putts would get better, just dramatically better. What would that do to your score? Think about Think about your fall right now. If you just didn't miss 6 footers and in very often, what would that do to your final score? I bet it would have a huge influence. 2, let's work on short game. So the beauty of short game is you can work on your pitch technique motion, your skill building of what the motion is, as well as moving different pieces when all indoors. Why? Because ideally a short game shot should be waist high to waist high, maybe getting up closer to shoulder, but shouldn't get much bigger than that, and it should be moving at a relatively slower speed than a full swing, so you should be able to control and make sure that you don't hit things. Well, one is we're working waist to shoulder. We shouldn't be hitting the ceiling very often. Also, we just want to make sure you want to look behind you and in front of you, so as you do finish your motion, that as the club is extended, that you're not hitting things. But you can do a lot of short game work inside the house with a club, but you can also do a lot of it too, just working on, once again, torso driven, not arm driven. We want torso driven motions, right? So learning to turn the upper body back and through and allowing that to control the action. Also, I like to do a lot of games with trail hand. We're always going to get a little trail hand extension. So ideally, in my head, if I have the perfect lie, the perfect short game shot, I'm doing a lot of body control and my trail hand will be straight at impact. That stabilizes the face, gives me an exact value that I know the ball should react the same every time. If I have a deviation in my trail hand, which is a deviation in my lead hand because they work together, if there's any deviation there that's not to straight, that means I've changed the angle of the face and the ball could react differently and I would get different results. So again, I always like to get my trail hand relatively straight at impact. So, but I can do that by throwing it super early and just turning the body through, or if I had some thick, gnarly rough, I could pretend I'm hitting out of, or if I had shag carpet, no, I'm kidding. I could actually hold the trail hand and have that release to straight at the last second, giving me a little bit of speed, giving me some down throw. So again, by understanding when I'm releasing my trail hand will allow me to hit different shots and create different energy inside of shots. And the beauty is, if I am doing torso driven, I won't have my arms shooting out and hitting things crazily. And again, you can do a lot of this I do a lot of this training without even a club in my hand. I'll do a lot of turn and I'll just throw my trail hand at different points. Again, just getting used to that feel. Also, if you do get a great day outside, if you do get it kind of a warm day, go drop a couple balls in the yard, a couple wiffle balls, a couple real balls, and kind of work on the same motions that you're doing indoors and see if it works going outdoors. 3, I think goal setting. I know it's kind of lame, it's kind of boring, but again, starting to set our goals. What if my goal is to break 100? What does that look like? What if my goal is to break 90? What does that look like? What are the essentials? So to break 100, what does that look like? So that means you're probably going to have about 38 putts and you're going to have about 62 shots from tee all the way to getting on the green. 62 shots. So you can get to the green average, even on par 3s, getting there 3+, and you would definitely get there. You would definitely get on the green faster than 62, which means we break 100, right? So what does that mean? That means maybe not hitting the driver as much that puts you in trouble. Finding clubs that I can control my variances using finger dispersions and all that. Go inside of YouTube, there's a great series on finger dispersions inside of there, and start to be able to control what your shot cone looks like and how to move it around the golf course. Again, you have 62 shots from tee to green, 38 on the green. So again, if you just do 61, 38, you're at 99. Or if you go 62, 37, you're at 99, you broke 100. So breaking 100 to me is less about your ability to hit a golf ball, assuming you're able to hit it in the air somewhat consistently, even if it's a big slice, big hook, but consistently get it in the air. Once you can consistently get it in the air and kind of move it, then it's just kind of being smart in how to play the game to shoot a score. To break 100, what does that look like? If I say I'm going to make 5s on every single hole on the golf course, I'm going to shoot 90, right? So can I birdie 1? Can I make 1 4? So that includes par 3s. That means averaging double on par 3s and averaging par on par 5s. But if I can do that, I shoot 90. It's not that hard. Again, assuming my ability is getting better and better to control the golf ball, my variance is getting tighter and tighter, but that's what it looks like. What does it take to shoot par or better? I'm gonna have to hit 12 greens. Whoa, now we're getting into serious business, right? 12 greens, 6 of those have to be inside of 20 feet, and I have to make 3 of those for birdie. Of the 6 greens I miss, 3 of those have to be chipped within 6 feet, and I have to make those. That's 3 birdies, 3 bogeys, that's shooting par. That's kind of what it looks like. So goal setting and understanding what that is, and starting to understand what areas are letting me down. So if I'm trying to break 100 and I'm not getting to the green fast enough, so I need to figure out what skills do I need to get better at so I can get to the green faster, right? Or if shooting 90, averaging par 5s, that, on par 3s, my dispersion is just too big and I end up in hazards and sand traps and things along that lines, and that's what's killing me. So having the technical skills, how to aim better and target better to take away those penalties, that is a skill. It's something you need to train and learn how to do. So to me, again, the off season is all about skill setting. Skill setting could be technique work, but it doesn't always need to be technical work. It could be mental. It could be mental work. It could be conditioning. It could be concepts and understanding. It could just be understanding motions. So skills are much more relative to how you play golf than technical work, right? If my technique work says my elbow needs to be here or this needs to happen, if that's all I'm concerned about, that's not playing golf. That's just getting my elbow in a certain position, right? So I need to understand inside the skill to hit my driver better, my elbow needs to be in this position. Fine, but my skill is being able to control the face of the driver better. And I need to do a better job. Can I get my, shot dispersion with the driver 4 fingers either side of my target? Then can I get it down to 3 fingers? Then can I get it down to 2 fingers? As my progression, as my variance gets tighter and tighter. That's what's most important. So to me, I think those would be 3 areas that, like I said, in the winter, kind of reflection of what just happened, start setting our goals, start thinking about the skills and the technical pieces I need to build for the upcoming year. And more so, 6 feet and in is something you can definitely train inside through the winter months, as well as starting to work on some of that motion and understanding inside a short game. I hope that was helpful. I think it was kind of fun. This will be my last video via golf for 2024. It's been a great year inside of GolfCask. Things really kicked off hot and heavy about June, and 2025 is going to be phenomenal. The stuff that I've been building, the things that I'm shooting for the audience is going to be absolutely spectacular. More to learn on that in the coming days and weeks, especially at the start of 2025. Brand new series, brand new information coming out. I think you're really going to enjoy that. And then again, what's better than golf, whiskey, community travel? Join us here at GolfCast. Find us on YouTube, find us on Rumble, and of course find us at golfcast.com and become a member of our wonderful Golf and Whiskey Society. Even if you don't like whiskey or you don't like golf, you can still join GolfCast, I promise. We have enough content and enough friends inside of there that you will create a community all in yourself. So thank you again for 2024. Thank you for everything, for all the people that have spent time with me. And again, I will see you in 2025. It's going to be an awesome year. Cheers, Salancha, 4, have a good one.